Hey everyone, this is Dan. It's been a while since I've had the opportunity to speak with everyone, um, on a group basis. But I think what I'm going to do is at least once a month um, is post a video just talking directly to our notaries and our partners, specifically our early adopters, and just kind of let how I'm thinking about Notary.Online, the marketplace, and things that I think will impact upon both the business of Notary Online and then, of course, the business of notaries. Um, but before I do that, what I wanted to do, because this is the first time that I've spoken to everyone as a group um, since I think January, is just tell you thank you. Thank every single one of you for the way that you showed your support with the loss of my wife. I can't begin to thank you all enough. Um, it was very important to me, and I had hundreds of personal conversations with folks thanking them. And in return, it so many people share with me stories of their loss and of troubles in their life, and it got me to thinking that when we first started this in 2021, John said that Notary.Online was going to be people, not paper, right? Um, kind of coin on the phrase of paper with notary, and then of course people being more important, and that was going to be our focus instead of being one of these large, companies that bar 40-60 million dollars, and they're very commercial and not a lot of personality or personability. We wanted to be different. And then I remember in November of 2021, we had our early Black Friday event, I think we called it, and we said that um, Notary.Online is more of a movement than a business. And that we were troubled by using that term movement, right? Because that's a serious term. Um, and at the time, I think we were thinking of movement because we were talking about big players in the industry charging a ton of money, which essentially allowed notaries to make pennies on the dollar compared to the technology company, the Ron company. And we said we wanted to do it different. And instead of us charging 25 and giving notaries 5, we wanted to look more like us getting 5 and notaries getting 25. But going through the death of my wife, I learned that in all of my conversations with all of you, that movement was more about the original intent of John, which was people, not paper, right? So everyone's lives and thoughts and feelings and emotions on a daily basis, and all the things that influence life on a daily basis was really what it's about, right? And so I started thinking about the fact that on any given day, I talk to 20 notaries. Josh, I think, substantially more, right? He's a lot closer to our early adopters than I am. And I want to change that. John, I think, probably also speaks to just as many as Josh. Um, and what I can tell you is amongst our competitors, personal conversations with you, the notary, what's important to you in business and in life, I feel like we've got to be in the top 1%, right? Because Josh, I know, he has a couple of different social media groups, and he talks to hundreds, if not thousands, of notaries a week. John, maybe a little bit less, but still, good numbers. And I hope that never changes. I hope we're always, the owners of this company, I hope are always able to take the time to speak directly with you and hear about the things that are important to you, and then implement those things in the marketplace and what we now call our virtual signing room, which is our Ron. And if you're one of the folks, one of the early adopters, or those interested, and the VSR or Ron that have gone through training with John and Josh. I hope you've enjoyed the heck out of it. I've gotten some really good feedback, and I'm just tickled that you guys are happy. Um, in the very near future, like literally just a couple weeks, right? We'll be live in Virginia and Texas, and then shortly thereafter, Florida, and then state by state by state by state by state. Our early adopters will be using the RON and making money. And so, if you've not had the opportunity to train, please visit the website, lower right hand corner. You'll see the little icon. Just say, "Hey, Josh, I need training," and you and he can work out how you get that. And I'm certain you'll enjoy it. Everyone else seems to have just loved it to death. Um, we've got some speech to text and text to speech functionality coming very, very shortly. We're working very, very hard on that. We've got some big banks and attorneys groups and these sorts of things that are going to start funneling work very, very quickly to the marketplace, so that you guys are getting the benefit of the marketplace. Work coming to you. Um, but one of the things I really want to discuss today is the notion that there could be a free run. Um, those of you who know me know I don't publicly bash our competitors, and I never will. But what I will say to you is nothing's free. Um, and there are regulatory requirements for RONs in every state, including our first state, which is where I'm located right now, which is the Commonwealth of Virginia. So there's a term, two terms: relying party and interested party. Relying party and interested party. The way that state legislators have approached RON is not entirely specific to every event. And of course, they don't all agree. Every state's a little bit different. But for the most part, states' rules concerning electronic notarization or remote online notarization, what have you, are fairly consistent. Um, one consistency is that the notary is an interested party and or a relying party. And in that, um, you need to have unfettered access to the documents you notarize, to the audio and video that's part of the notarization process, to the journal, to the authentication, to all of the safety precautions involved in the Notarial Act and the signing. Um, there are numerous platforms out there that are either A, not making all of that available to you on demand. You log in, bam, it's there. I signed that day. This identification was involved. Here's the video audio. Here's the audit trail, et cetera, right? Or it's available to you, but at an additional cost, which means you paid X amount of dollars to bring your customer to the signing, um, whether it be monthly or monthly and the actual signing. And then on top of that, you've got to pay the company extra for um, preserving the record, if you will. And, depending upon your state's requirements, that may be 5 years or 7 years or, what have you. That's wrong. It's always been wrong. It'll always be wrong. The other issue is offering someone, and this came up today to me anyway, free. Use our service for free until the end of 2022 if you're a notary. But we are not going to give you access to the documents, the video, the audio, etc. Folks, that's wrong, because notaries are an interested and or relying party. And as such, when you review states' regulations surrounding electronic or remote notary, the language is very clear. You're an interested party. which means you have to have access. You shall be given access to the documents and to the audio video. I can't speak to what other companies are doing. What I can tell you is this: with Notary.Online, as a subscriber, even if you're not a subscriber, let's say you subscribe, you're with us for 3 months, then you go. For whether it be 5 or 7 years, whatever your state dictates, okay, the documents, the identification piece, the audio video will be made available to you on demand for that 5 or 7 years or whatever it becomes, depending upon your state. And that's critical, right? Because that's your reputation. That's potentially you being involved in something legal and not having to go through headache after headache after headache to get what it is that you were involved in, right? The Notarial Act. And that's critical. And so as we think about us being, people centric, not paper centric, or, what the movement means, or, you being able to communicate directly with me or John or Josh, etc. We think the extension of what you do on our platform being available to you all the time is important, right? And I hope it's important to you. So look, I didn't want to take up a lot of your time. I'm at like 11 minutes and a half, but I just want to let you know that we value you. We value your opinion. So many of you participated in the journal survey. We were trying to figure out, hey, can we tweak this and make it cooler? We really appreciate that, and we're going to be doing more of that polling to get your feedback. But if there's ever anything that any of you want to discuss with me or Josh or John, please visit the website, lower right-hand corner. It's a direct chat function, and start the conversation off with Dan, John, or Josh, This is what I'm concerned about, and we'll get back to you, and we always will. I hope. Those of you that have my cell phone number, keep calling me. I hope we're a $10 million business. I hope every one of you notaries gets to the point where you're making, $100, $200, $300,000 a year. Please, I would love it. And when we're there and you're there, I still want you to call me, text me, email me, because I never want to be disconnected from notaries. You're the reason we're doing this. And I just wanted to say thank you so much.